Hi guys, welcome back to Bespoke Airsoft, and in this episode we're looking at the Hi-Capa line of pistols from Armorer Works. So yes, we're looking at Armorer Works Hi-Capas today. I've got two representatives from pretty much the broad range of like 5-inch style Hi-Capas. We're going to do things a little bit differently in this episode. We're changing up the format, well, I'm changing up the format a little bit. So I'm going to get straight to the top-down camera so we can take a close look at the models that I brought with me, as well as an explanation of what's going to be happening. So yes, as we go into the 40 plus episodes, I'm switching up the format a little bit. I've had a bit of feedback here and there from you guys on what you want to see, and like I said earlier, we're looking at the Armorer Works Hi-Capas in this video, and they do a lot of Hi-Capa models, they do a lot of colours, and the best way I could sort of break it down into a nice bite-sized chunk so I'm not reviewing 30 or 40 pistols is I'll get one of each, say, variant. Now, for the most part, the 5-inch Hi-Capas you can break down into two categories if you look at it as simple as you can. And the way you want to look at it, yes, there are many different versions of this pistol, and yes, there are many different barrel versions as well. But what I wanted to do was make it so that this is a split slide Hi-Capa. So this is where the slide is split in two halves and only the back portion moves, and the front barrel assembly is kind of more fixed in place. This is available with the slide setup that you'll see in just a moment, and also just a normal conventional slide where the front sight post is fixed to the slide, not the barrel. So I've broken it down to these two models because one is a full slide, one is a split slide, and the performance between the different brands, whether it's a full slide or a split slide, will be very similar. Like I said, there's many different variants, and if I was going to go through all of them, we'd be another 20 or 30 episodes in already, and you guys would be sick and tired of Hi-Capas. So let's take a look in the box. Just so you know, the full-sided Hi-Capa that I'm looking at is the HX 2002, and the split side is the HX 1002. And then if you want the codes that we use here, Armorer Works, Custom Hi-Capa, gas-powered pistol. This is the full black slide, black frame, gold barrel, and it's 110518 on our website. For the split slide, like I said, there's many different variants, different colours and such. It's black slide, black frame, and the code is 110499. So let's look at the full slide one first. And yes, many of you have been saying on the videos, and there's a few guys there that know a lot about firearms, more than probably what I do. It's not the fact that I don't know what these parts are called on the pistols, like going back to the revolver video that I did on the King Arms. It's not the fact that I didn't know that the cylinder was called a cylinder. As I'm doing these videos, and if you've followed me for a long time, both on this channel and on the James Parker Vlogs channel, you'll know that I'll name something, I'll know what it is, like this is a slide release, I know this is called a slide release. However, sometimes for some unknown reason I'll call it something completely different, and it's just because my head is completely boggled from trying to remember certain things about what's going on in the business, and then doing the videos my mind just jumbles it all up, and I sometimes have a bit of word diarrhea. But this is a full slide. You can get this in many different variants. They do different styles, they do different colours. You can get it with the barrel that you see here. You can get a more conventional version where the front sight post is fixed into the slide instead of the barrel assembly. Very nice. The reason why I picked this one is because it looks superb and the gold barrel really does stand out. Yes, with this version over the normal full slided, more conventional Hi-Capa slide, you are going to have a little bit of weight reduction because you're not pulling back all this weight here. But for the most part, they are pretty much the same. So this is a full slided, bloody hell, I'm starting off already. This is a full slide Armorer Works Hi-Capa. They're a full metal frame and slide, all full metal controls. The only things that tend to be plastic are the grips. And you've got like sort of this moulded fake stippling style grip here. It is very grippy. We've obviously got red accents, gold accents here. Safety can be operated from both sides. The safety does act as a thumb rest as well. You've got a grip safety as well, like a 1911 if you're not familiar with Hi-Capas. This model has a flat trigger and it's got an extended magwell on there as well. Just like any Hi-Capa, pop the slide back, find the little notch. The slide release will line up with that. You can pop that out and then pop in the slide onto the front. You will see here, so the blowback unit, you've got the recoil spring, you've got the hop unit there, and then the outer barrel's fixed in place as well. Not fixed in place, but in place in the slide. So you'll see here, which you'll see in a moment when we look at the accuracy results, which I've also changed. So the hops are kind of random out the box. Like this one was over hopping out the box, the split slide was under hopping out the box. I'm using 0.2s, so I'm not going to any higher weights, but I may do in future. So that is how you strip the pistol down. That's how you adjust the hop just there. Easy to maintain, very nice and weighty. You know, I think Armorer Works, you know, it's an offshoot of WE, but they have come on leaps and bounds. And from what I hear in the practical pistol sort of communities, that these are kind of, you know, getting more grips on the community compared to, you know, your average go out and buy a TM Hi-Capa, replace all the parts if you want to. The offshoot of WE that is Armorer Works are doing very, very good with Hi-Capas at the moment. They obviously do gas mags, which is what is included in the box. You can notice the red gas route rubbers, so you know it's an Armorer Works magazine. Gas mags, they do CO2 mags, you can get extended mags, you can get drum mags. So let's have a look at the trigger reset here. So like literally a millimetre or two take up before you hit the wall. Got the release and then the reset. Very, very nice. Obviously when the Hi-Capa is cocked ready to go, you can put the safety up. When the hammer is forward, you cannot pull the safety up. So the great thing about Hi-Capas is they're very modular. The amount of aftermarket parts available for these things, I'm not 100% certain if these are 100% compatible with Maruis, but I imagine for the most part some bits and pieces might be. So very nice and easy to get that mag in there with extended magwell. Locks into place nice. You know, we are empty, so this gun is empty, but it is gas. Let's just have a look at the blowback. And then let's just see how fast I can shoot this thing. So nice and snappy. You know, fibre optic sights, nice and easy to see, very, very nice. Better than usual, just blacked out rear irons so that, you know, in sort of low light it is a little bit more difficult to get a sight picture. So that's the HX 2002. In the box we also get an RMR mount and a pin if you want to remove the magwell. It's nice that they're including them RMR mounts. They also do Hi-Capas with RMRs, red dot sights included in the box, which we'll hopefully be looking at later on in the week. So that is the HX 2002. And then let's have a look at the split side. And if you've been paying attention to these videos and you do follow what I'm looking at, I had great fun with the WE high-speed Glock, which is a split slide setup. I love split slides just because they shoot superbly fast. Now this variant, like I say, it's a split slide design, so you're not pulling all the weight back of the slide. This is sort of sits in place. The hop up doesn't reciprocate or anything like that. The barrel doesn't move. So they are very, very snappy and they tend to be very accurate as well. This is available in a multitude of different colours. I've been wanting one of these for myself for a while now, and I think we've just had all these back into stock. And being an Iron Man fan, I mean, I do ride a motorbike and I've got like a Iron Man styled helmet. They do it in red and gold, and I think I might go for something like that because, let's face it, at the end of the day, Hi-Capas, they tend to be blingy more than other pistols, but you can get them in different versions of the black. You can get them in like the red, you can get them in blue, you can get them in like a titanium gold colour, which is quite nice, and they do like different accents and accent pieces on the grip, like the hammer and the grip safety and such. Same safety levers at the back here, which can be used as thumb rests if you're left or right-handed shooter. Very nice. Same fire optic iron sights, which are very nice and easy to use. In the box, just while I've got the box here, you've got that switch out pin so you can take the flared magwell off, and you've also got that RMR mount which replaces the rear iron sight. Rear iron sight being adjustable on both these models too. So the grip's a little bit more, I don't know what would be closer to that's available on the market now. It's a very more lower detailed, sort of lower recessed grip texture. It's not as aggressive as the other model, but it is very, very nice, and I find it more comfortable. Personally, a little bit more subtle on this model. We ain't got gold and red everywhere. The slide release is obviously nice and dulled out, so it's not as eye-catching. You have got the silver parts in here. The safety levers are black as well as the mag release. These magwells are absolutely great, make reloading really, really super fast and easy. All these guns will use gas and CO2, whichever power source you decide to use. Gas is more than enough on these things. They tend to be very, very reliable and efficient. So just like both models as well, while I've got it, remember that there's a rail on the bottom here if you want to put flashlights, anything like that on. Now, compared to the flat style trigger on the HX 2002, the 1002 has a curved trigger, and I much more prefer this trigger. What I find, just for me personally, is that the flat trigger just sits a little bit too far out, and it does reduce the amount of space. So if you're wearing gloves and stuff, and you've got some big beefy gloves on, you might not have as much area your trigger in the trigger guard. But this feels very, very nice. I do like this trigger much better. So let's have a look at the reset. Right there, that's the take up. About the same as the other model. The wall, the brake, a very, very short brake, and a very, very short reset. And this is perfect for what I'm about to show you next. So let's just check. Pistol's clear. Yep. We've got gas in the mag, but we've got no BBs in the pistol. And you watch how quick this thing fires. Super, super quick and snappy. And the amount that you can fire this thing obviously is a little bit difficult while I'm holding the slide release down to allow it to dry fire. But when you're shooting at targets and stuff, this thing is so snappy, and I think that's probably one of the best attributes of the 1002 compared to the 2002. So the split slides, for me, I much prefer because, one, you've got the weight reduction, so the gun tends to be more snappy. Two, you've got the hop-up unit and the barrel system, which kind of sits more firmly in place. It doesn't reciprocate or move, so accuracy is obviously going to be better with this model in my view. And thirdly, the front sight post stays exactly where it is, so no matter where the slide's moving, the front sight post always stays exactly the same place. And these don't have as much recoil as, like, you know, a real firearm. Everybody knows this, but in terms of blowback action for an airsoft pistol, this is obviously reduced compared to the full slide model. So same way to take this apart, we just line up the little notch with the slide release. We just push the slide release from the other side, pull this lever out, and then it just slides forward like so. And then you can see it's about midway on this pistol. I think when I shot this in the range test, which you'll see in a little while, I was using .2s, and this out the box, I have obviously been messing with these just to see how difficult they are to turn and stuff, but at the point of me shooting, I just pulled it out of the box, and the hop was set to off on this one, where on the 2002 it was set to halfway. What I will say, just before I put the chrono results up, the changes that have happened for the format that I do this in, obviously going to get some bits and pieces out the way. I'm no longer shooting these things at 10 meters. So these guns, compared to the ones shot previously in the show, are not really comparable in any way. .2s in a controlled environment, and especially indoors at 10 meters, you're not going to have much trouble at all. And what you'll see is, as the show went on, me shooting a lot of pistols and a lot of rifles, me just quickly shooting the target 10 meters, you know, I got used to shooting it, and the groupings did start to tighten. Now, what I'm going to do going forward is, these are now shot in the back garden here. I've got a little piece to show you with, I've actually got my hands on a rangefinder, so I'm going to show you exactly how far I'm shooting from, but it's now 15 meters instead of 10, so we're increasing the range size by 30%, is that how you do it? No, 50%, so we're going from 10 to 50 meters, so 50% extra compared to what we had before. We're now shooting outside, so we are subject to the elements slightly. You know, I was in a controlled environment before where I was indoors, so there's no wind or atmospheric differences there. 0.2s again, when you're going from 10 to 15 meters, 0.2s become less and less effective as the range goes out. So I may look in the next videos, perhaps changing it, maybe start tweaking the hop and sort of seeing how the best I can get out of it, perhaps going to like a 0.3, because you know that's what the users are going to use at the end of the day. I was just trying to keep the show consistent. So let's get the chrono results up just now, and we will take a look at what these two pistols fire at. So you'll see there, this model came out a little bit higher. I don't know whether it's because I've been messing around with this and the magazine was colder. Really don't know. It wasn't a controlled study. It was literally just gas, making sure the back magazines were both full of gas. And they're both using 0.2 gram BBs. I haven't messed with the hops again, like I said. And this one came in at, I think, about 340 at the first shots, and then it did lower down. This was a little bit lower. Usually, depending on what gas you're using, and of course how warm the magazines are, how warm your local atmosphere is as well, what the weather's like, you will get varying results. Usually they're between 300 and 330, so around about between a joule and just under. So that was it. We're going to get to the range test now, and just before I go to the range test, you'll obviously see me. I had to do it with my phone because the camera that I use, this camera that's on this mount at the moment, could not see the rangefinder reticle showing you the distance. Obviously I'll put that up there. I was filmed on my phone, so you'll have to just go with it, unfortunately. But you'll see that I'm standing exactly 15 meters away. The camera is like before, the way I shot, I was stood here, the camera was here, the target was here, so you know, it was a bit off. So now I'm here, the camera is here with me, and then the camera is literally just zoomed into the target, which is sat at 15 meters. So first up, just like before, 2002 first, and then the 1002 second. So yeah, we've looked at two models, the HX 2002, the HX 1002. Like I say, I just wanted to get a representative of two different versions of the 5-inch Hi-Capa. We are going to be looking at the 4.3 as well, but these kind of summarise the two most different versions between the whole range, because you've got those that have a full or more conventional style slide, and then you have those that have got the split slide system, which of course is going to be the major differences in terms of FPS, accuracy, blowback power or blowback action strength, and in terms of rate of fire as well. So you've seen there, we looked at the two models just mentioned. Chrono results, the 1002 came out a little bit less. That doesn't mean anything, that doesn't mean all the split slides are going to be less, that was just the results that I got on the day. And then we went to the new format, which is the 15-meter accuracy test. So I just want to discuss about the accuracy test straight away. I've changed up the format, doing 15 meters. I've now pushed it out into the back garden just because you guys wanted more range for some reason. At those sort of distances, you know, we're going to see more inconsistencies with using .2 ammo. Of course, we're now affected by the elements where we weren't before, because the length of the house, there's a utility in a garage, and I was obviously using that indoors controlled environment. I'm going to get better results. So what you'll also see is that me sticking to the usual format of just firing these things out of the box. This one came over hopped and this one came under hopped on a .2. So you'll see me shooting at the target. I really was struggling. We're now at 50% further in terms of range, and I think .2s may not cut it. So moving forward in the next few videos, we might have to sort of switch that up. Perhaps look at using heavier ammo for the accuracy test. But these on a .2 gram BB, you know, they don't do bad. That target isn't very big. You're sort of looking at about this size. So it's not bad at all. A human-sized target at 15 meters, even with a light .2 gram BB, you're going to have no problems hitting that whatsoever. Moving up to 2.5s recommended. If you can go to 3s, that's even better, because these will hop 3s. I've had great fun with these Hi-Capas. I haven't really gone to depth with the Hi-Capa Armorer Works range up until now. This is like a very blingy version. You got the gold, you got the red. I do really like that. One thing I don't like on this model, I love the sort of floating barrel type cut here. You have to excuse me, I really don't know what this type of cut is called. I'm sure some Hi-Capa aficionados out there can correct me on that. But the flat trigger, just as a quick shooting experience, I got on much better with the curved trigger. Obviously with having bigger hands, I found it easier to get my chubby fingers into the trigger guard here, but also the trigger moves back slightly with a curved trigger, where on a flat trigger you sort of have to stretch further, if that makes sense. So in terms of comfortability, if that's a word, I had a much better experience with the 1002, just because I found the grip more comfortable with the type of moulding that's on there compared to that one. This is a more grippy surface, so if you are using gloves and you want more grip and purchase on the pistol, that's probably the grip style you want to go for. But this one is, for me, was a lot more comfortable, as well as that curved trigger as well. And how fast this 1002 fires, it really is superb. I do enjoy, or have enjoyed, shooting it. I love the split side Hi-Capa as well. And I have got no doubt that if I had time to set the hop on this, I was using .3 gram BBs, I've no doubt that I could half that grouping at 15 meters if I really wanted to. So hope you like the new format. I'm just trying to change things up and just see what you guys want to see. This is the Armorer Works Hi-Capa range of pistols. Hope I've cleared up a few things for you guys asking stuff on the emails. If not, just send me an email and I'll answer any other questions that you might have. But for this and many of the standard bespoke airsoft products, go to our website, bespokeairsoft.co.uk. You can also visit us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube for more content. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to be notified we're putting new videos up, because we do it every week. We're constantly pushing content out now every week consistently. Sometimes even putting out a video every day, which is a lot of work for me, especially on the editing side of it. But hope you like these pistols. They really do make a good quality Hi-Capa, and to be honest, out the box for what you're spending, they are starting to rival Marui. If they can just brush up the QC in a little areas here and there and get it on Marui spec, I mean, Marui who? But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.